Hey, what's up, guys? This is Noah. This is my presentation on cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is pretty complex stuff. Honestly, I did a lot of research, and it would take me a good while of just doing cryptocurrency to be able to like really lock it down. But I think I've made some stuff that should be pretty simple and fairly easy to understand. So here we go. So what is it? It's, a digital currency, obviously, if you've never heard of it before. Um, it uses a lot of encryption techniques, so, it can stay regulated and, not go out of whack and, have a stable way of trading and collecting it and saving it. And one of the biggest things is it isn't dependent on the central bank, so it, is its own thing. It doesn't. Um, tie into the overall economy of the U.S. So, some reasons why people are transitioning to cryptocurrency nowadays are, for one, it's easier to use. You don't have to, you know, worry about everything else. You know how much you've got. It allows for confidential transactions. So if you don't want people to know what you're buying, well, that's there for you. There's no transaction fees, so no taxes. Pretty big. Um, Easier international trade is a pretty big one too. For instead of having to exchange currency and exchange rates, cryptocurrency just has one value across the world. Individual ownership, that means you're solely in control of all of your cryptocurrency, and very strong security for the most part. So some history, some important dates I picked out. In 1983, the American cryptographer David. So some history. Three, the American cryptographer David Chaum conceived an anonymous cryptographic electric money called eCash. Um, in 1996, the NSA published a paper titled "How to Make a Mint: The Cryptography of Anonymous Electronic Cash," describing a cryptocurrency system. In 1998, Wei Dai published a description of B money characterized as an anonymous distributed electronic cash system. And in 2009, the first decentralized cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, was created by developer Satoshi Nakamoto. It used SHA-256, a cryptographic hash function, as its proof of work scheme. So some of the major components that make a cryptocurrency and how it all fits together. The blockchain is what keeps track of all the currencies. Private keys allow each holder of cryptocurrency to be authenticated. My dog. Wallets where someone keeps their cryptocurrency. Ledgers make all transactions visible as to not allow for double spending. That's pretty big because the ledgers make it so you have to stay honest. You can't send a amount of currency to one person and then use the same amount as another person. It'll that's illegal. Um, Miners are huge amounts of computer power and technical skill to check the security, accuracy, and completeness of currency. So the blockchain is how it works. The basic concept of blockchain is quite simple. It's a distributed database that maintains a continuously growing list of ordered records. Each digital currency is supported by a decentralized peer-to-peer network. Blockchain technologies ensure that all cryptocurrencies are kept track of, regardless if they are held in a digital wallet or being used in trading. And blocks store information about the people involved in the transactions themselves, and distinguish themselves from other blocks. So this is like a little visualization I found of a blockchain. So we have our party here, party one, and then party two. They're, verifying and sending the transactions, and the transactions get stored in a block, and that just is sent to the ledger, and that's how everything's kept track of. Makes sense. This is how a block structure is, what the code actually looks like. So you've got the index, just like what index it is, the timestamp, what time the block was created, the data, any data that is included in the block, um, the hash, yeah, a SHA-256 hash is taken from the content of the block, and then the previous hash is a reference to the hash of the previous block. This value explicitly defines the previous block. So this is what the code looks like for a block. Now, first glance, you probably look at this and say, "Oh, that looks familiar." Well, you should, because this is basically just a class. We got class block, obviously, and then this is all of its characteristics, its identifiers, and then here's the constructor to make the block, and then just setting everything equal to, um, you know, its variables. So it's pretty simple. This shouldn't look too alien, and unless you haven't had any coding. So block hash code is the unique identifier for the block. This is an example: calculate hash, and then having all the index number, previous hash string, timestamp, etc. And then this is the toString. A Genesis block is the first block in the blockchain, is the only block that has no previous hash. And here's what that looks like in code. So to generate a new block, we must know the hash of the previous block and create the rest of the required. So this is what that looks like. So this is how the ledger works. It's where all the transactions are made public so that total visibility is provided. This allows, obviously, for no double spending, and it keeps everybody honest, basically, playing fair. So keys are pretty important when it comes to cryptocurrency. A valid private key is any random 32-byte string, and a valid public key is uh, an O4 concatenated with a 64-byte string. So to generate a new private key, again, this shouldn't be too complex looking. I know some of the wording is kind of weird, but it's basically just a method, honestly, to generate the private key.